I am live. Okay, fantastic. Let's see. Okay. Testing, testing. I don't often go live, so let's see. I'm not convinced I even do it correctly. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're going to just jump right in. So today I am processing a complex book, and I need to get it into a Microsoft Word format. So I'm going to process some of that, and let's see if we can get this to work. I'm not sure that it is displaying properly. Oh, there it is. Fantastic. All right, so the first thing that we're going to do, I have this 773 page textbook that I need to get over into an accessible format. And it's kind of a nightmare. This book is tough. Very, very tough. And we're going to try to do a couple of things to the document first to get it into a more usable format. So first and foremost, I'm going to save it as a smaller file type because it's slowing down my computer. So to do that, I'm going to select the menu button, and we're going to save as reduced size PDF. We're going to keep retain existing and select OK. And then we're going to save this file. And hopefully it's going to make it a little bit smaller. Oh, I see a comment in the chat. What's the scope of learning accessibility in PowerPoint? Will it be worth it? I'm not entirely sure I understand your question. There's quite a few things to learn about the accessibility of PowerPoints. If you check out my channel, I have a whole playlist dedicated to PowerPoint accessibility. It's not super complicated, but there are some very specific items that you will need to know in order to make your PowerPoint files accessible. So yeah, check out the playlist and that'll probably give you better context. All right, so what I want to do is see if this file shrunk down at all. And I think it did. Let's see. I'm going to right click the file, open file location. All right, it's still 300 megabytes, which is quite a bit, but it is a scanned image. So that's something. So we saved it. Now what's tricky about this is I need to get it into an accessible document. And my thought is to take that over to Microsoft Word, but the truth is I might need to keep it as a PDF. So I'm going to have to use some specialized tools, but I suppose what I can do is try to auto tag the document. Now, what makes this more complicated is that we have words in English and in Spanish. We've got quite a bit of formatting on here. Man, this is going to be a very, very complicated document. Let's see. And I don't have a lot of guidance from my end user about how they're wanting this formatted. Whether it needs to be fillable or if we just need to have it readable. And right now it's just straight up an image. This is tough. This is tough, tough, tough. All right, I think what we're gonna do first is break it down into chapters because right now it's difficult to work with a 700-page document. So I'm going to select my Organize Pages button, and we're going to break this thing down a little bit. And so we have our front material here. I can select all of the thumbnails for what is considered front material. This is like the stuff at the start of the textbook. And then we're going to select the delete pages after extracting and select extract. And that pulls that content, so 34 pages, into a separate file. And then what we're going to do is just take out each one of these chapters. So there are no bookmarks in this file because it's a scanned image. So unfortunately, I need to do this manually. So I am going to separate this book. We're on chapter 2, and I can select the shift key on my keyboard, select all of the thumbnails, and we're just going to extract them out. And we only have 659 pages to go. So chapter 3, hold my shift key, select the next thumbnail. We can delete the pages after extraction. And again, all I'm doing right now is trying to break down this file a little bit because I'm going to need to do some testing for how I'm going to make this accessible. This is an extremely complex layout, and I'm not sure how to tackle it. But I know the first step is to get it broken down into a slightly smaller, more digestible file. And yeah, this is some pretty specialized work. So another question in the chat, is there a growing demand for accessibility experts from the standpoint of starting a career out of it, and specifically presentations? I mean, I guess it depends. I mean, I've been in this field for over 15 years. It seems like the market's a lot more saturated with people in it. But if you know your stuff, it's kind of like any industry. You know, I think that there's probably room for more people to get into it. It just really depends. If your goal is just to make PowerPoints accessible, I don't think there's a huge market for that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I personally will make PowerPoint files accessible, but they're far and few between. It kind of depends on the organization. And so is there like a huge demand for PowerPoint specifically? Not really. I would say most people that find me personally are typically looking for like PDF accessibility. And I then will tell them like, oh, I handle Word docs or Excel files or PowerPoint or what have you. But I don't get a lot of traffic for people just straight up looking for PowerPoint remediation. But if you like, I mean, my question to you would be like, well, what else do you do? I mean, can you make the PowerPoint fantastic? Like, are you a designer? Do you know how to design accessibly, or is your goal just to make PowerPoint files accessible? I think it just depends. All right, let's see. We're on chapter 9. This is a massive book. All right. We're going to just do like one chapter at a time whenever I get to that point. But we're just going to keep trying to break it out. Delete pages after extraction. Excuse me. All right. And now my tabs are getting a little out of control. Now, when I have so many tabs open, it's easy to like start making mistakes. So what my plan is right now, I'm going to start saving out some of these files. So to do that, I'm on like chapter 12 here, right? I'm going to go to the menu button and select Save As. And we're going to choose where we put this file. And this is chapter 12, and hit Save. And then I'm going to close the file. And then we're going to do it again. File, Save As, where my location is, chapter 11, close the file. So it's kind of tedious to do work like this, but it just is what it is. Unfortunately, sometimes in our jobs, we have to work, and there's no shortcuts for that. All right, let's see. We got chapter 9. Let's do save as, find the location, chapter 09. And to be fair, I only started doing this live stream because I was like, well, I know what I'm doing for the next couple of hours trying to work on this. So I might as well live stream and see if anyone is interested in this type of stuff. This is like a real life project that I'm working on. And you know what's the trickiest part of live streaming? It's like talking the whole time. So I appreciate your comments and participation, EPOH. All right, let's see. Let's keep going. File, save as, chapter 6. And it's kind of interesting to see people in here because I didn't do any promotion or anything. I just hit go live now. And here we are. Let's see, privacy, public. We got a few people watching. Hello, people who are here. I don't really live stream much, nor do I really watch live streams. So, am I allowed to play music? I wonder if I'm allowed to play music. That would be better, because I'm just sitting in a room talking to myself, to strangers that don't know me. Chapter 05. Having a computer-based business is kind of funny like that. I do a lot of business, but I don't really meet a lot of people in person. Everything's online. Maybe I'm AI. Just kidding. I'm not. I'm not AI. I could be, but I'm not. All right. Chapter 3. I think we only have 10 million other chapters to go. File, save as, chapter 2. We got another one, file, save as. Let's do chapter 01. Apparently, let's see. Interesting. Hello, Forbin. Yeah, I don't live stream a lot, my friends. I don't know. It's like I'm too busy working on my business every day, but this is like a real life project that I'm trying to work on. This is the first live stream I've seen you do. What puzzles me about PDF remediation is seeing the same choices as the video. I'm not sure what you mean, my friend. Why don't you dive in a little bit? I'm not going anywhere. I'm not sure what you mean by your question. Seeing the same choices. I assume you mean like the same problems over and over. Let's see, we're gonna do Westfalen. And we call this front material, or FM. So in a lot of the work that I do, I convert textbooks to accessible formats, and that's what this is. I am converting a textbook to an accessible format. And because the file size is so big, 300 megabytes, it will often crash some of my processing programs. And so we break it down into chapters, and what we call the stuff at the front of the book, we call it FM, or front material. So that is why the naming on this is a little funky. And by the way, I'm not necessarily going to be doing PDF remediation in this video, but you know, I suppose if we get some people in here and y'all want to see it, I got no problem going over it. Sometimes the menu choices look different from the video. Yeah, so Forbin, you probably have a different version of Adobe Acrobat. So in my videos, I have the brand new version of Adobe Acrobat. And let me go back to my file here. I'm going to save my original copy. So what you can do is on the menu button, like, because I'm in the new Acrobat, I could, in theory, hit disable new Acrobat, and it will take me back to the other version. But I like to use the most modern stuff, so I'm using the new version of Acrobat. And I believe if you want to flip your version to the new version, let's see, I'm going to disable. Actually, I don't want to do this like while I'm working on this live book, but I believe if you go to the view button and then there should be an option called enable new Acrobat, the menu options should be the same. Also, if you're on Mac, that will make a difference. So Mac and PC, the settings are totally different. It just really depends. But yeah, if you want to give me some more context in the chat, I'm happy to keep chit-chatting. Yeah, the thing is, like, I can't really show you the version of the PDF. It's like I know that I'm in the new version because my tags panel is on the right-hand side and my tools panel is on the left. If your tags panel is on the left side, you're using the old version. And most of the menu items are like, they're actually the same function, but they kind of behave a lot differently. And I would actually like advise you to make sure you enable cloud-based auto tagging. So once you're in the new version, if you select the menu button and go down to preferences, and on the accessibility tag in the categories window here, we have this ability to enable cloud-based auto tagging. And this thing is like fantastic. It's super good for auto tagging documents. Now, the document I'm working in, it's probably not going to work really well, but this is a very complex multi-language scanned image document. So yeah. EPO, at times I get clients where the PowerPoint is ultimately going to be exported as an accessible PDF. So the most part, Ali is handled in PowerPoint, alt text reading order. It's fun, but the jobs are rare. Yeah, a lot of the work, a lot of the PDFs that I personally get have already been converted over from PowerPoint. And there are some problems with the PowerPoint to PDF conversion, but I would agree with you that they're rare. And I do this for a living all day. Like, this is how I make a living, is making documents accessible, training, consulting, YouTube, and all that. But the reason I mention that is, like, even when I'm doing that, I've been on a couple of conferences where I've done all of the PowerPoints for an entire conference. So if you're looking to try to get work like that, I recommend trying to find sources that they're doing that. You know, just regular folk that are creating PowerPoints, that's a hard market to sell. But if you find like an organization that does a conference where they do 100 presentations, that might be a service that would be valuable. In fact, I'm not going to like go down that rabbit hole. I'm not going to steal your idea, but it's a good idea. Like, get in touch with people that host conferences that you're aware of and just be like, hey, I offer this service where, you know, I convert PowerPoints over to accessible PDFs. Would that be something you're interested in? And that would be a pretty cool thing to do. All right, let's go back to my organized pages. I appreciate your guys' participation. Thank you. Let's see what we can do. We're going to keep breaking out these pages so that I can actually get to the work part. All right, chapter 13, delete pages after extraction. We go back. Chapter 14, I'm holding the shift, selecting the thumbnails. We do export, delete pages. Let's see, we've got chapter 15. Oh, I think I skipped it. A lot of pages in here. Man, this book is gonna kick my butt. It's so complex. It's so complex. I can't believe it. I should have built more. I didn't realize how difficult this document is going to be. I'm tempted to just make it an accessible PDF, but man, there's a ton of fillable forms. Oh, it's going to be tough. All right, but I'm not doing that yet. Right now, we're just breaking it up. We're just going to break it up. Chapter 17. Oh, awesome. See you later, Forbin. Appreciate you being here. I'm glad your university recommends me. Yeah, share me wherever you can. I appreciate that. I'm just a little old Shawnee boy here trying to make an impact in accessibility. And I appreciate, you know, the support when I get it. Even nice comments like, oh, my university recommends you. That's pretty cool. I like that. All right, we're going to extract this. It's funny, I never meant to be like a YouTube person. I just kind of I kept getting asked the same questions like every day of my life about accessibility. And I was like, I'm going to make a YouTube video and then send it to that person. And then I just kept doing that. And then I was like, oh, people like this. And here we are. All right, now I'm at the end of the textbook. So I finally got it to the very end. This is what we call end material, or EM. So I could simply hit save as. And we're going to name this remaining file EM. And then we're going to save out the rest of these chapters. So this is chapter 13. We've got chapter 14. This work is tedious, but you know, somebody's got to do it. And I guess it should be me. Who knows? Chapter 15. I'm going to save this file. We got chapter 16. Save this file, chapter 17. And finally, chapter 18. And, oh, that one was misspelled terribly. Chapter 18. Cool. All right. So we got the file broken down. That's pretty cool. There's only a few people in here, so I'm gonna just take a moment to review my my settings in YouTube here. Hang tight one moment. I'm not going anywhere, but it's kind of interesting. Details, customization, live chat replay. Anyone can send messages. Add a live stream or premiere for people to watch. Trailer. I guess I can turn ads on. I know ads aren't great, but they do help. Let YouTube insert mid-rolls. Sure. Sorry if you guys get advertisements, but I am trying to make a living doing this, and ultimately I would love to live stream to like a ton of people down the line. So my apologies for any ads that come up. See viewer activity, stream settings. Okay, that's cool. You can delay ads. That's pretty cool. Analytics, stream health. All right, I think I'm good to keep going here. Oh, this is cool. You can do super chats. I don't know what a super chat is. What is a super chat? People give money to send a comment? That seems silly. All right, well, let's figure out what we're going to do next. So I'm just going to keep working here as if, you know, nobody was here. Okay, so what do I want to do next, Sean? So I've got chapters 1 through 18. Now the client indicated that they want this accessible, but they didn't really give me any guidance as to what that means. So I'm hesitant as to taking this into PDF or PowerPoint. We're just going to play with this a little bit. Epo said, is there a possibility to record actions just like Photoshop and then automate the process for the tedious bits? Not that I'm aware of. You'd probably have to use a third-party software. I swear accessibility is like behind the times. They just like, I don't know, with like Adobe Acrobat, they don't have anything. So you'd have to use a third-party tool. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to try to run the auto tagging on this, and let's just see what happens. So I select prepare for accessibility and select auto tag, and my head is kind of in the way. Let me see if I can move it just a little bit out of the way. Okay, there we go. And let's see. It's still auto tagging, probably because the document is so big. Oh, I could share that I'm live. That's kind of cool. I guess I can go throw it on LinkedIn. I'm gonna do that really quick while this is auto tagging. Let's see. Live on YouTube right now. Post the link, and we'll hit post. Let's see what happens. I do have a pretty big network on LinkedIn. All right, let me go back to this. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see. Live streaming. Okay. All right, I'm back. So it's still tagging. This makes me a little concerned. Usually the auto tag feature goes like right away, but for some reason, it's not necessarily doing that. It seems to be stuck at the 50 percentile. And I'm not going to lie, Adobe Acrobat has been giving me some trouble for a while. So I'm unsure of how well this process is going to work. Oh, there it went. It just went through. That's strange. It looked like it tagged it locally. All right, so we're just going to check. We got communicative objectives. You will learn how to say goodbye. Oh, we're going to have style span issues. Hola, ¿qué tal? Oh, did not like the Spanish in this. This is definitely not going to work. Unfortunately, greetings and goodbyes, identifying yourselves and others. There's lots of issues with content that has bulleted lists for some reason. Oh yeah, this is not gonna work well. Darn. All right, so what this means is I'm going to have to take it into another tool. The truth is, I think I need to get a little more guidance on whether or not they want me to make this a fillable form. Because this thing is going to be a freaking nightmare to make accessible. Like, I don't even know how I would do it. I'm going to have to take it into Abby Fine Reader to professional OCR it because we have dual languages. And then I'm going to have to take it into Acrobat to add form fields on all of the different locations because it's just not good. Let's see. I'm going to have to do a sample on this, unfortunately, and break it down a little bit. All right, well, this is what it is. So we're not going to save it. And I'm going to launch this third-party program called Abby Fine Reader Corporate. And this is a tool that we use in the industry to, it's like a professional OCR tool. So I'm going to launch Abby Fine Reader, select OCR editor, and then I need to take my chapter 1, and we're going to have to do quite a bit of work to it inside of Abby here in terms of like getting it set up and going. So let's see what we can do. Abby's now running like OCR on it. And then we're gonna have to go back through and zone it. And that's gonna be the plan. All right. Accessibility on a Friday morning. Isn't this fun? I'm having fun. Or at least it's morning for me. I am in California. All right. So Abby's pretty cool. Abby gives us the space to be able to OCR and scan in multi-languages. So right now I had the setting set on English. My fault. I need to change it to auto select between English and Spanish. I also have French and German in here, but it's not gonna pull up French and German. So I'm changing my language first because I want it to recognize both English and Spanish. And then I need to re-recognize the document. So I'm going to select the recognize page button again, and it's going to go through and re-scan all of this. But see, then this is where some of the problems come into play. So with Abby, there's quite a bit of work we have to do. We need to zone the document. And one way to do that is to make sure like we only have text that we want selected to be scanned. And so in some of these cases, we need to change the recognition on this. And we're also going to have to adjust the reading order. And this is somewhat of a WYSIWYG editor. And I need to zoom into the bottom. So we have our image panel on the left and our text panel on the right. And this is where we need to like adjust some of these items and just make sure that, so this little mouse before the A Primera, it's coming up as like the letter Q. And so we can deselect little components in this so that it's not recognized in the scan. Whoops. We need to go back up to page 1, and then I'm going to re-recognize the page. And now what I need to do is set the reading order. So I can select reorder, and we're going to choose 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to do 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And that's the reading order. Now on the right-hand side, ooh, it did not like those vertical. So on the right-hand side, we get to see like the panel, the recognition results of the OCR scan. And so in this case, these did not come out right, but I think I need to change them to vertical text. And I believe we can do that down here somewhere. Let's see, we got area properties. Here we go, orientation, normal. I would say it's rotated right, and then we need to rescan the page. There we go. And now that fixed that small component. So page 1 is now pretty good. We've identified it in Abby, and it's feeling pretty good there. Let's go ahead and go to 2. Oh my gosh, this document is gonna be so bad. All right, I'm deleting out the images because they're just gonna make things confusing for me. And then what we need to do is make sure that our text is right. What is this? A hotspot? There's activities. Interesting. Okay. Well, what do we got here? We've got a table tag, and it appears that it's tagged appropriately for the most part. Let's see. Under the presenter, I would like to introduce you to names. So some of the character recognition is not totally accurate. Abby presents things that it's unsure of in blue. And so I can use like my vision to try to fix it better. And let's see. Items are presented for recognition purposes only. Okay, so some of this text we just need to like swap it out. But this is going to be so difficult to do. Very time consuming. This book is 700 pages. It's probably going to take me days to do this work. And as much as I like working for days on a project, whew, this one is going to test my limit, that's for sure. All right, so, all right, that one looks pretty good. Our reading order appears okay on here. Let's see, this is also going to be chapter 1. So I need to zone it using Abby, select the reorder button, make that number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. And then we're going to re-recognize the page. So using Abby FineReader is really like my only option here in terms of having a chance at getting this accessible, because this is tough, the amount of data in here. But, you know, it's possible. So typically we remove page counts. And see, this is a good example. So all of this text in here I need to delete because these are going to be form fields. So they have C and no, and then these circles got added in, but really they're meant to be some type of selection in there. But the only way I'm going to be able to do that is by coming in and adding form fields. And I just don't think that I can do that inside of the Abby FineReader OCR tool here. Because it's one thing to get the document OCR'd, it's another thing to get it accessible. Let's see, view, edit, file. Yeah, I'm gonna have to take this in. But this is a good sample. I think I'm just gonna do these first 3 pages and see how it turns out. All right, we've got our table. We've got number 1. See, I need to add in like, I need to zone that number 1, number 2, but then this causes me to redo the reading order. Number 3, number 4. This text didn't get tagged. So it's like extremely tedious. Ooh, what did I get myself into? Goodness. All right. All right. Let's see. It's got all these lines on there. I do not like these lines. I don't, because these look like they're going to have to be work with your partner to put this scrambled conversation in order and then act it out. I guess I could leave the lines in there for now. Let's re-recognize the page, and then I need to change the reading order on it because otherwise it's going to be out of order. Practice will be first, and then we'll do this, this, this. And so with Abby, to do the reading order, you have to like do it individually, and it's kind of painful. I mean, this is only 3 pages in, and the worst part is I'm not even done. I have to go back through and then add form fields, but that's okay. We're going to save the file. Well, we're going to save the project for now. So let's save our OCR project. I'll just save it on the desktop for now. And then what we're going to do is see what we can do with this PDF. So I've got it zoned. It's kind of accessible a little bit. Pages 1 through 3, that is. You know, I got 700 more pages to do, but let's go ahead and save it out. Actually, let me choose my settings. So we've got exact copy, editable copy. I'm going to leave it on searchable PDF and exact copy, and we're going to select save, and let's throw it on the desktop. And let's see how pages 1 through 3 did. Ipo said, how'd you get into this career? I believe fixing these small and intricate items would have contributed to your detail-oriented skills over the years. Yeah, I started out at my local community college where I made accommodations for students with disabilities when I was like 19 years old. And we would convert textbooks into Braille, audio files, Kurzweil files, and accessible documents. And in addition to that, we would also do the tech stuff. So at the end of the rainbow of accessibility is typically like someone is interacting with that document using assistive technology. And so my skill set has been in the development of that process of like learning how to use the assistive technology in addition to learning how to make documents accessible. And then personally, I pursued it out as my own like education. And so I ended up getting a master's degree in assistive technology and human services. That was actually the first degree I got. I called the school and I had my boss write me a letter of recommendation, and I was able to get into that program when I was 22 years old, and I finished the master's when I was 24. And then I went back and finished all my undergrad. I got an AA in English, an AS degree in computer science, bachelor's in education studies, and then I pursued a doctorate in educational technology and leadership. And then I ended up dropping out because I started making a lot of money, or like enough money to sustain stuff where the education didn't feel as valuable. I originally went for a doctorate degree so I would get paid more in my tenured faculty position that I ended up leaving to pursue this work full time on my own. So to your point, yeah, it was a grind of learning and doing this very tedious work for years and years and years. And luckily now I have a team behind me. But yeah, let's go back to the document here. Good question. And let me move my floating head around just a smidgen for you all. For the 3 of you that are watching, I appreciate your support. All right. So all I did was the first 3 pages. I think it's going to be best if I actually like take those 3 pages out and we just work with those individually. So I'm going to extract them for now. And we're going to just work in this document. All right, so I have an H1. Hola, ¿qué tal? And that came through fantastic. We have a figure tag as in chapter 1. And what I could do with this figure is let's right click it, select properties, and we're going to add in chapter 01 and select close. Communicative objectives, we're going to do H2. Now, the problem when we go from Abby to PDF or to Acrobat is like I can't really make a lot of edits in here. It's semi-unfortunate, but it is the truth. All right. This list came through pretty good, though. But we need another list item. So this P tag is not inside of the list item. So we need to add it. But I can just edit the P tag to be an LI tag. And then I can change the span tag to be an L body tag. And then we can just move the LI tag directly under the other list. And now if I decollapse those list items, they're now in the right location. So we have list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it moves on to contextos. I don't speak Spanish. But in theory, that could be a heading level 2. So we're going to make it a heading level 2. And then pages 2 through 5, we've got a list item. Let's make this a H2. Pages 6 through 9, we've got text for cultura. That's culture, I know that one. We'll do H2. And then we've got a P tag, a list item. We've got an H2 tag. And a P tag list. H2, P tag list. Oh, wait, P tag. Okay. So these are mostly okay, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all of these span tags from this section under a single parent P tag. Control X and paste them in so that they're read in the correct order. Now it's not going to be like totally perfect, but it's going to be pretty good. We'll make this a H3, and then we have P tag. Excuse me. Oh, those are actually list items. I suppose we can leave them just for now because I kind of want to look at doing the next page. Man, my nose is so itchy. Sorry, I keep touching my nose. All right. This can be a heading level 2. At the top of our page, communicative objective. Hola, ¿qué tal? And then we've got this person having like a conversation. That's fine. We've got a table with a table row. And all these table rows are coming through pretty well. It's pretty good. So the table rows are actually formatted decently. The number schemes on this don't make any sense. We've got 1, 3, and 5. But 2 and 4 are on the other page? Oh my gosh, that doesn't make any sense. All right, well, for now, we're just going to leave it. I think I need to adjust the reading order a little bit, though. All right, and then we're on to a next page. We've got practice. We've got this text in Spanish. And this is where things get tricky. We've got this table with table rows. But really, I need to add in form fields in here. And that's going to be really fun. Choose the correct response for each question or statement that you hear. this is like an impossible task to do in PDF. If there's supposed to be an audio clip behind this, that doesn't make any sense. This is so complex. TJ, how you doing? I just met with you yesterday. Could the items on page 30 through 38 be a list but without bullets? I think our chat is a little delayed. I think, yeah, we might be a little delayed because I don't have those page numbers. Unless you're asking me something else that I don't understand. Epo asked, I remembered a few years back when I started learning InDesign, I watched a lot of accessibility tutorials from Dax Castro and Chad Chelius. Yeah, I know them. They are colleagues. Great guys. They definitely know InDesign. Fantastic. And they make a lot of good content as well. Yeah, I've worked with them on a variety of projects in the past. And they're like people that I would talk to if I don't have an answer. The truth is there's not a lot of people out in the accessibility space that are like true experts in the field, and I definitely would consider them an expert like myself. I just don't work in InDesign. But my specialty is a little more different than theirs. I also work with math accessibility, foreign language, and complex assistive technology solutions. All right, let's keep going with this. I need to get some more feedback from my client because the truth is I don't know how to tackle this bad boy. I need some more context on what the student is looking to achieve because I don't know how I could possibly make these worksheet areas accessible. Like the time it's going to take me to have to do this is just ridiculous. I mean, it's going to be really tough. But since we're here, like here's the format. So the format of this table tag that I need to have fillable forms on, it doesn't make sense for this to be in a table. So I instead actually need to take all that content out of a table, and it just like there's so much formatting. Like I can do this, but the truth is I have 773 pages to do this to. So it's just like not a realistic use of time. This book alone is going to end up costing them $20,000, and there's no way they're going to pay me that much to do it. So let's just keep going here and see what I can figure out. Check yes if you might use this expression, you're here to greet someone, or check no if you would not. But how do I know what question it's asking? It's like I need guidance from the professor. Unless it has something to do with section number 2. Oh, check yes if you might use the expression you're here to greet someone, or no. This is based on audio from the PDF. Or this doesn't make any sense. So I can't click this. The book that I received is straight up like a scanned image. Okay. So in theory, if this was a digital based book, I would be able to press this little icon and it would read out the contents for me based on this section. So from my perspective, I don't have that data. So there's no way I could put in form fields here because I'm never going to be able to indicate what it was going to say because I don't have access to audio clips. So the question now becomes, is there any relevance for me to even tag this content at all in a practice format? Because we're not going to have access to the baseline audio. So let's see. Oh, TJ said the pages before in a colored box. Oh, pages 30 through 3. Okay, I got you. I don't remember what your question was. Let me look back. Be in a list but without bullets. Yes, they could be in a list without bullets. Yeah, you could if you wanted to. It's just, it depends on, in theory, you could even make it as sub-level heading. We can make lectura in H3 and then a comic strip and then the next word, a heading level 3. Basically the bold words. Typically when you see bold, someone's trying to bring emphasis to that content. And so Screen readers don't actually read bold or italics or different colored fonts or space between items. So you could leave it as a paragraph tag, or we can make it a heading, or we can make it a list item. It just sort of depends, I guess. But man, I need to get some more guidance from my client because I just don't see how I can make the practice section like accessible at all. It just doesn't. This is one of the downsides to working with like textbooks is they're inherently meant to be done in person. So like I can't put in form fields in here because I don't know what the answers would be because I can't listen to the audio. So yeah, I need to get some guidance from my end client. And then same with this. So section 2, there's another little audio button here. Choose the correct response for each question or statement that I hear. Well, I can't hear anything. So for question 1, muy buen gracias, or me llamo Graciela, I can't choose because I don't know which one I'm hearing. It's tricky. I guess in theory, I could do section 4. Let's just see. I'm going to do prepare a form. I don't want to automatically, I'm worried about automatically adding form fields. Let's just try it. We'll do create form. It's going to make me save the file. Let's save it. And hopefully it doesn't add in 10 million form fields. All right, so I added a couple. Oh, see, I just misclicked, and now it said converted scanned page to editable text. So I accidentally just overwrote a whole bunch of my content on page 3. So that's not good. Let me get back down to page 3. Oh my gosh, so funny. So this is what I get working in the wild for the 7 people that are here watching. I tried to add form fields to my document, and this document came from Abby, and it just stripped the tags out of page 3 entirely. And it converted all of the text to English. So all of that hard work I did in Abby FineReader, I accidentally just got rid of it. But this is why I like learning and doing this work. And this is also why I only did a 3-page sample. So in theory, I need to start over now because while these form fields got entered, all I wanted to do was add in form fields down here. But because I misclicked, like I can do it again. I'll do it on page 2. When I'm in edit form mode, it just did it. I scrolled up to page 2. Adobe Acrobat just took over and re-OCR'd the page. I'm going to do it on page 1 too, because at this point, I completely ruined the document. But this is how like touchy it is. So I think I'm going to make the executive decision and say like, I'm not going to add form fields to this document because it's just going to mess it up. And now if I like go run the accessibility checker, it's going to be a nightmare. So one single misclick on my part, I just completely ruined the document. So unfortunately, I have to start over. TJ said this would be perfect for an Apple iBook, but Apple stopped supporting iBook development years ago. Yeah, man, this is tough. I'm really bummed that I accidentally misclicked there. So I'm going to close the file, and I kind of have to start. I have to start over. So for the last 20 minutes of work that I've been doing, I get to start over. So I need to reopen my chapter 1 document. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, good. I maybe messed it up even worse than I thought. Did I save the file somewhere else? Oh, I did. My bad. All right. I found it. So if I go back into the tags panel now, we at least have our 40-page document here. So now there's no reason for me to split it up because chances are I'm just going to artifact most of this content of the activity pages. Oh my gosh. Look at this page. I'm going to have to create choose the best word or phrase to complete each mini conversation. It's just like this book is 100% not or designed not to be accessible. There's just like not a whole lot I can do in here. I'm going to have to put so much additional context on every single form field, or crossing out we can't really address in accessibility. I suppose I can come in. I'm not going to be able to add form fields though because of the nature of this being a scanned document, which means I'm going to have to remove all of the practice elements from the entirety of this book. However, if the student just needs to read the book as opposed to answering all the practice, perhaps there's something I can do with that. Let me view the tags panel into some of those pages. I did not spend the time zoning in Abby Finereader. So I only did Abby Finereader for the first 3 pages, or at least like editing. So some of the text is coming through. That's beneficial. But a lot of this, I'm kind of just processing what I'm looking at here. My apologies for those of you on the live stream. I'm just sort of kind of digesting the problem that I have in here. Look at the images. What do you think of the relationships among the people in the video are? Oh, fantastic. These are supposed to be videos. This is an impossible task to make accessible. You can't do videos in PDF. Indicates whether or not it's true or false. Goodness, what am I going to do here? The only thing I can think of is just to do my best on tag all the content so that it's readable. But in terms of someone being able to interact with this, I mean, I don't even know how it's going to be possible. It's one thing to OCR a document, right? But it's another to add in hundreds of fillable forms. Yeah. For those of you who's watching this live stream, if you had to make this accessible for a student who was using assistive technology, what would be your advice based on what you see in this document? I mean, half of this stuff, it's like built off of inaccessible compatibility. Like, complete the charts according to the models. There's nothing like, there's so much missing data here. And on top of that, I don't speak Spanish. So like, even if it was in English, I probably would have a hard time just like even getting this file, you know, to a usable format in any way. It's intense. All right, I think I'm going to take a break from this because it's sort of hurting my brain. I'll go back to the chat here. Talal, nice to see you, my friend. I haven't heard from you in a while. Jumped in late. Does the client want an interactive fillable? So all they gave me was like the silence went away. I know. I heard the fire truck outside. That's so funny. Yeah, the client is just like, we need this usable for screen reader technology. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to tell them. Like, they're paying me to work on it. It's not that. It's like, I can't do a lot of the stuff. They have, I wonder if this is like an interactive book that is online, because they have hotspots for video and audio. And like, you don't have that support in PDF. So now I'm going to hear Javier Acosta's conversation with Louise indicate the familiar words and phrases each person says. I don't have the audio. So like, this goes into like, what would I even do here? I would just have to artifact all of this content. But like, that's not going to work, because if the student needs this book in order to pass their class, they're going to have it in an accessible way. The only thought I could think of is reaching out to the publication and being like, hey, you know, oh, I'm not even sharing my screen. Let me go back to sharing my screen. You know, I can't click on any of these interactive elements. So the only thing I could think of is just like, do I just ignore this entire section? Anything with audio, I just artifact it? And then I have the mouse areas here indicate whether each sentence is true or false, but like there's no answer spot. So Javier Acosta is a student, true or false. Where would I even enter the answer for that? You know, and if that's based on the audio clip, I guess that answers my question. I'm kind of just troubled. I'm talking out loud here, like as I do anyways, but trying to figure out like what exactly I'm even gonna do. McBoss, it looks like you're speaking in Russian. I don't speak Russian, my friend. Too bad there's not an auto translate. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, this is this is tough. I don't know what I'm gonna do. The only thing I could think of is remove all the activities. But see, even look, there's more play buttons here. And so I wonder if this is getting read aloud. And then we've got more options answering the questions. But in terms of PDF accessibility, you know, is the expectation that I put in checkboxes next to A, B, and C? I don't know. There's no space for it. This is going to be tough. Tough. It will have to be a digital book or even HTML. This is very timely, Sean. I came across audio links in a PDF recently and didn't have the actual links. Yeah, the audio links typically... Oh, Ukrainian. My fault, McBoss. Yeah, the moment when you come to look at your work and understand the feeling of a streamer. Yeah, these things, it's tough, my friend. It is tough. Oh, let's see. So this, what they did for the audience here, and I appreciate you guys even just being here for me to bounce this off of, because this is a real project. I just hit live stream because I was like, well, I know what I'm doing today, so why not get some interaction and make some content? We can't do audio and video in PDF. So what they did was they purchased the textbook and literally scanned it in. So my original file that I have is straight up a 700-page image-based document. And so for those of you who just joined the stream, what I did was I ran part of it through Abby FineReader just to get like a sense. But here's the rub. I mean, the entire textbook is like this. I should have charged triple the amount, quadruple the amount, maybe even 10 times the amount, because the time it's going to take to accomplish this in a meaningful way, like pretty much every single one of these components, like I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to get in touch with the publisher to try to get an accessible Word doc version. And Abby FineReader allows me to take it to Microsoft Word, but unless I spend the tedious time to get it in here, you know, it's not going to make any sense. If I go to save as Microsoft Word document, let's just save it out so you can see what it looks like. It's kind of like even more complex. CJ asked, can the audio be links? In theory, yes. But the problem is I don't have the audio. Like all I have is a scanned PDF. That's the problem that I'm currently facing. Like as if they took a picture with their phone and sent it to me. But yeah, this is gonna be rough. So this is the Word document. Now this is loosely based off of the file that I formatted in Abby FineReader. And if you'll notice, the top 3 pages look decent. But as soon as we start getting into the other content, it's gonna be a lot more tricky. We have a lot of what we call in the biz gobbledygook. Oh my gosh. And everything's entered as a text box. I need to change the format. So instead of exact copy, if we do like, the truth is it probably need to be plain text and then save the file out. Let's see what plain text can do. So plain text is just going to make like a shortened version of this. But this might be a more reasonable approach. Now, I don't love that it took in the color, but I could adjust that. But at least now we kind of have like, at least I've got something to work with now. But again, I'm going to have to talk to the client about these fillable areas. It's just an impossible situation. And especially like, normally I wouldn't make statement claims like, well, I can't do it because it's not my language. But the truth is, this textbook is teaching a different language. So how would I go about being able to understand how to make it accessible if I myself don't speak the native language? Like even Nick Boss being in here, I thought you were saying Russian. You said it's Ukrainian. That's a big component of work like this. Like I need to know what language I'm even working in. Obviously, this is Spanish, but we have video content. And my 45-page document came out to 95 pages when I converted over. Like this isn't usable. What is this? This is totally unusable, this page. But that's okay. All right, my friends, I'm going to take a little break, I think, because if nothing else, this kind of stressed me out a little bit. And in a whole hour and 6-minute stream, I didn't get any work done because I'm just trying to wrap my head around this project. But thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. And maybe I'll be coming back and doing another stream later today. Thank you for your support, everyone. Please share my content out in the world. That's the best way you can help me out. If I've ever helped you with your PDF accessibility needs, throw out a shout out on LinkedIn, something like that. Share my YouTube videos with your friends. And yeah, for now, I'll catch you next time.